Please come to the next page, everyone. Please come to the next page, exemption. Now, let's go ahead, everyone over here. Let's go ahead and do the next chapter. The next chapter is exemption. Everyone listen. We started learning GST with goods or service. Goods or service has to be supplied. Supply can be either interstate supply or intrastate. Intrastate supply, what will be levied, everyone? IGST. Intrastate, CGST will be, actually it is CGST and SGST, but I don't write SGST because it's not a part of your exam. It's not a part of your syllabus. Can I go ahead, everyone? Now, sir, once GST gets levied, GST has to be collected and paid by a taxable person. How will he collect? How will he pay? Now listen, you have to calculate GST is equal to value of supply into rate of tax, and you have to collect and you have to pay. But you know what? In between comes one part which is known as exemption, where government can go ahead and issue notification. Government can issue what, everyone? Notification and grant an exemption. Are we clear? And if government issues a notification, then you don't have to collect GST and pay GST to the government, not required. Are we clear? And here we are in our part of exemption. Please come to exemption, everyone. Now, exemption are with respect to goods also. Exemptions are with respect to services also. Goods ka exemption are not applicable for you guys. You don't have to remember. But services ka exemptions are applicable. Approximately 100 services are there which you have to go ahead and remember. Are we clear, everyone? Approximately how many services? 100 services are there which we have to go ahead and understand. Now listen. This above part, no, this is total bakwas. It is what it is telling what I will tell you. It is telling that section number 11 goes ahead and gives the power to the government to go ahead and grant what, everyone? Exemption. Which section gives the power? Section number 11 of the CGST Act. Now, if IGST Act mein exemption has to be given, then IGST ka it is section number 6 which gives the power to grant exemption. Are we clear, everyone? Now, this portion which is there, it is just reading category. You guys can read. Now, please come down. We'll start with the first exemption. You know what I've gone ahead and done? I've gone ahead and bifurcated all the exemption area wise. For an example, all the charitable and religious activity related exemptions are here. The next you will see government related exemptions are here. The next you will see transport related exemptions are here. The next you will see all admission related exemptions are here. All the agriculture related exemptions are here. So I bifurcated area wise exemption. Are we clear, everyone? Let's go ahead and start with the first one, which is charitable and religious activities. Everyone over here, if there's an entity, first of all, who is a charitable entity according to the government? According to the government, see, first of all, you have to be a charitable entity, and then you should be doing what, everyone? Charitable activity. Charitable entity doing what? Charitable activity. Only then you will be given exemption. Can I go ahead, everyone? So who is a charitable entity? Entity registered under 12AA or 12AB of the Income Tax Act. So if you are an entity registered under 12AA or 12AB of the Income Tax Act, then you are a charitable entity. And now charitable entity going ahead and doing what activity, everyone? Charitable activity, then it will be exempted. Sir, what is charitable activity? So they define charitable activity as, charitable activity means any activity relating to what, everyone? Public health by way of care or counseling. If you are doing, people, first of all, you have to be a charitable institution, which is basically registered under 12AA or AB of the Income Tax Act. And then you should be doing what, everyone? Charitable activity. What is charitable activity, everyone? Charitable activity should be relating to what? Public health by way of care or counseling of terminally ill people. If you are doing care or counseling of terminally ill people who are about to go, terminally ill, ठीक है everyone, or severely physical or mentally disabled person, or you are doing care or counseling of HIV or AIDS infected, again about to go, or drugs or alcohol addict. Always remember one, people, whenever I say about to go in the class, it's only so that you remember in the exam. ठीक है everyone, don't connect anything to practicality. Everything told in the classroom is only for classroom purpose. Can I go ahead, everyone? Now, so they are telling over here, sir, if you are doing care or counseling of what? Terminally ill people, severely physical or mentally disabled people, or HIV or AIDS infected. Again, drug addict, alcohol addict, about to go. So government says, even if you are doing care and counseling, might be drug addict ka, alcohol addict ka, family say you are charging some amount, don't charge any GST. Then, if you are doing public awareness about what everyone, preventive health, so that you don't become about to go, how to prevent your health, or you are giving public awareness about what? Family planning. You are telling people about family planning. You are giving seminars, charging an amount, don't charge any GST. Or you are telling people about how to prevent HIV infection. Then you are doing what? Awareness. Whatever awareness program ke liye, whatever you are charging, don't charge any GST. If you are doing anything for advancement of religion, spirituality and yoga, then also always remember, you don't have to charge any GST. If you are doing anything for advancement of educational program, skill development program relating to whom? Abandoned, orphan, homeless children, physically, mentally abused, traumatized person, prisoners or person greater than 65 residing where? Rural area. Remember one thing, what educational program, skill development program you are doing, whatever amount you charge, please don't charge any GST. And if you are doing anything for preservation of what? Environment, watershed, forest, wildlife also, please don't go ahead and charge any GST. That is what they are going ahead and telling. Ki, sir, if you are doing anything for preservation of environment, watershed, forest and wildlife, then also don't go ahead and charge any GST. One thing I'll tell you, first of all, you have to be a charitable institution, going ahead and doing charitable activity, which are PAPI activities. What is PAPI activities? P for public health related activities. ठीक है? A for advancement of religion, spirituality and yoga. P for preservation of environment, watershed, forest, wildlife, etc. If you are doing E for educational program or skill development program for abandoned children, homeless children, prisoners, mentally abused, physically abused, or person greater than 65 residing in rural area, then remember one thing, your services are what? Charitable activity, and you should not go ahead and charge any GST. The next one over here, people in the exam, they will tell you there is a charitable institution doing charitable activity. It is going ahead and giving educational program for person greater than 65 residing in urban area. Taxable. Because what is exempt? Rural area. Can I go ahead, everyone? Please be very careful about it. What is exempt is rural area. Urban area is always taxable. Next. Sir, if you are an entity registered under 12AA or AB and you are running a old age home, if you are running a old age home, for whom? For resident greater than equal to 60 year. People, resident greater than equal to 60 year. Resident with me. Resident greater than equal to 60 year. Then always remember, you are doing, in this case also, the old age home will not charge any GST. But remember, the consideration should be only 25,000 per month per member. They will go ahead and tell you, Ram and his wife, both are supposedly in a old age home. The old age home went ahead and charged 50,000 rupees, taxable or exempt? Remember, per person it is 25. So 2 people ke liye 50 is also exempt. Next. Sir, the consideration should be for boarding, lodging and maintenance. Also remember one thing, old age home can be run by central government or state government. That is also exempt if they are charging only 25,000 per month per member. The next is, if there is an entity which is registered under 12AA or AB, or there is any trust, institution, authority or board, and if they are giving what? Religious place which is meant for general public is given on rent. Baba, you know temple. Temple will go ahead and give Kalyan Mandapam. Temple ka Kalyanam hall which is there for getting married. Always remember one thing, if the temple is charging you 10,000 rupees, it is taxable. You do one thing, put 1 rupee in the hundi over there, they will charge you 9999, it is always exempt. Because temple mein hundi is there, remember, put 1 rupee in the hundi, and what is exempt? 9999 will always be exempt. So if they are charging you for premises or Kalyan Mandapam up to how much, everyone? 9999, it will always be exempted. When you are getting married, your relatives will come. So for relatives ka stay ke liye, you will book a room also from the temple. If you book a room and they are charging you only 999, it is exempt. So if they ask you 1000 rupees, you put 1 rupee in the hundi, 999 will always be exempted. Remember, room rent up to 999 is always exempt. Now, after one person gets married, after you get married, Baba, honey is there, money is also required. So you'll have to open a shop. You've told the temple, I want to open a shop. They went ahead and told, okay, fine, you open a shop. If the shop ka rent per month is less than 10,000, then it is exempt. So you have to say shop rent up to 9999 per month, then it will always be exempted. In the exam, never write 999, 9999. Always say less than 1,000 or less than 10,000. But for your exam purpose, so that you can remember, I've told what is exempt is always 999, 9999 is always exempt. One more thing I've gone ahead and told over here, that sir, conducting of any religious ceremony is always exempt. Baba Panditji will come, he will do the puja, whatever amount he is charging, he will not charge any GST, because conducting of religious ceremony is always exempted. Next. Now, if there is a charitable institution and charitable institution is giving training or coaching in sports, people, if charitable institution is giving training or coaching in sports, always remember it shall be taxable or exempt? Exempted. Training or coaching given in sports is always exempted by whom? Charitable institution. What if I am giving? Taxable. Remember, training or coaching in sports given by whom? Charitable institution is exempted. Next. Training or coaching in recreational activity relating to art and culture. Baba, all these hobby classes, etc. will be there. No. Painting ka class, drawing ka class, sculpture ka class. If it is given by whom? Individual, it shall be exempt. Sir, hobby classes, drawing classes given by charitable institution, taxable, because only by whom? Individual, it is exempted. People, remember, this point is connected to charitable institution. This point is an independent point, only given by whom? Individual, it shall be exempted, not applicable to entity under 12 AA or AB. Now, always remember one thing, religious pilgrimage. Religious pilgrimage mein, there are two religious pilgrimages which are there. One is Hajj and one is Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. Hajj is done by Hajj committee and Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, KMVNL will take you. KMVNL is what, everyone? Kumaon Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited. They will charge you an amount and then take you for the Kailash Parvat. Arey Baba, Kailash Parvat is there. They will take you for the Kailash Parvat and they will go ahead and charge you some charges. Remember, they will not charge any GST. If Hajj committee is taking you for Hajj, they will also not go ahead and charge any GST. I started taking people for Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. Will I charge GST or I will not charge? I have to charge. If KMVNL is taking or Hajj committee is taking, they will not go ahead and charge any GST. Everyone over here. Services by rehabilitation professional. Who is a rehabilitation professional? When a person becomes addict, drug addict, alcohol addict, that person has to be put in a rehab. So supposing this is a rehab. This rehab mein, this person is a drunkard. He has been put in a rehab. Now rehab mein, rehabilitation professionals will be there. They will give their services. They will give you current. I don't know what they give. Okay, everyone. They will give you all the treatment, etc. will be given so that you leave all this bottle, etc. Are we clear? Drug, alcohol, you leave it. So they will go ahead and give you rehabilitation ka services. Now listen to me very carefully. What they are going ahead and telling, all this rehabilitation professional, whenever they are giving their services, that will also be exempt. It means whatever amount they are charging from this rehabilitation center, they will not go ahead and charge any GST. But they should be providing their services at what? At a medical establishment or at a educational institution or at a rehabilitation center or at an established rehabilitation center established by whom? Central government, state government, union territory, or at an entity under 12 AA or AB. Then people, if I am a rehabilitation professional giving my services at a medical establishment or in rehab center set up by the government or at a rehab center which is run by an entity under 12A or AB, my services taxable or exempt? Exempt. Can I go ahead, everyone? Everyone over here now. Listen, you went to supposingly, it says about GST on residential program or camp. If primary and predominant objective and purpose is advancement of religion, spirituality and yoga, it will be exempt. For an example, you went for yoga classes. They gave you food also. They told you come for 10 days yoga classes. You can stay over here only. We will give you food also. We will give you stay also. Yoga is exempt, right? Yoga classes are exempt. Food and accommodation also will go exempt because it's a principal supply is exempt. Ancillary supply also will become exempt. Now, supposingly, one temple is there and temple started what not temple, supposingly one charitable institution is there. Charitable institution doing charitable activities exempt. Supposingly one charitable institution is there. You know what the charitable institution started? Charitable institution started selling food and told give 100 rupees donation. Baba, government is saying if charitable institution merely provides accommodation or serves, if it is providing yoga along with that food and accommodation, then it is exempt. But only if it is giving accommodation service. If it is selling food, then remember, if it is selling food and drink against consideration in any form, including donation, such activity will always be taxable. Tell me one thing, charitable institution giving yoga classes is exempted. Charitable institution started running aerobics class, dance class, fitness class, Baba, always taxable. Remember, religion, spirituality and yoga classes are free. They are GST free, but they are telling activities such as holding fitness camp, classes, aerobics, dance, music, always remember GST will always be payable. We are done with your first exemption which was there relating to charitable activity. Sir, you like it? I like it as a B graded chart, everyone. I like it as a B graded chart. In my opinion, they can go ahead and ask you a small point about this PAPI activities. Read this 2 to 3 times and go. You will remember it for exam. PAPI activities. Okay? Secondly, remember it is this one. Old age home, it should always be resident greater than 60 and amount should be up to 25,000. One more thing you can remember here is this one. 999 and 9999 is exempt. Only in which case, everyone? For renting of all this room, premises and shop, 999 and 9999 is exempt. I feel these 3 points say one small point they can go ahead and give you in the exam, and that is where I will go ahead and stop my discussion on charitable and religious activities. Can we go ahead, everyone? Now, let's go ahead and move to the next one. The next one is over here. Government related service. Please come to government related services. People, government related services may, they have gone ahead and told central government, state government, local authority or union territory government, means all the government related services I have written over here, whether it is exemption, whether it is forward charge, whether it is reverse charge, all the entries I have gone ahead and told over here. People, let's go. You know what? This is A graded. One small 2 marker point will be there in the exam. You can call it B also, but in my opinion, from exemption point of view, it's a good chart. You will have one question. Everyone over here, when I say A graded, you will have one question. That's my thought. Okay? When I say B graded, might be there one question will come, might not come. When I say C graded, see, A graded means 100% chance. B graded means 50-50. C graded means 1/3 or 1/4 chances. Are you guys able to understand? But tell me one thing. There is 3 things. Okay, I'll tell you little story also. This is the king. This is the king ka senapati. You know senapati? Who is senapati? Soldiers ka head. These are the soldiers. These are the soldiers, and this is the soldier ka head. And this is the king. Student is telling, sir, he is Katappa. You tell Katappa, sir. This is Katappa. Okay, everyone. Then I will draw Katappa also. Okay, this Katappa. Now, listen to me very carefully. If you go to the exam, okay, leave everything. If you go to the battlefield, only the king and Katappa went, will they win? Don't think he is Bahubali. Okay? Now, you tell me one thing. If king and only the Senapati went, will they win? Lose. Correct or not? You think about yourself. This is A graded, this is B graded, and this is C graded. If you leave the C graded and go, you will definitely not get good marks. You will get up to 40, 45, but you will not pass. Are you guys getting it? So don't think that C graded I will leave and go. C graded, I will tell you, every big question, 1 3 marker question will be there small, that will be C graded chapter. Just imagine 6 question में you left 3 marks. Means how many marks gone? 18, 20 marks gone already. It means your remaining is only 80 marks. 80 marks say I'm 100% sure you will not be able to do 10, 15 marks. If you can do, okay, you can do 100%. Okay? But I'm telling average student, they will leave 10 marks and come. 10, 12 marks, averagely one student leaves it. Okay? Baba, I never go ahead and boast saying 100. Baba, you have to give some respect for the person who has set the paper also. No problem. He set hard. 10 marks, by chance you could not do it. I'm 100% sure if you practice question answers, if you listen to the revision, you will be able to do it. But I'm telling on a lower point that 10 mark you did not do. You wrote only 70 marks. Correct? No? Yes? 70 mark mein 10 mark went wrong. How much is remaining? 60 mark. Your writing skills too are brilliant. Correct? If you write one answer and check yourself, no, out of 5 marks, you will give 2 marks to yourself. Just imagine you wrote 60 marks and you got 30 and failed. Do you want to do that? Please don't do it. If you leave these soldiers and go, no, high chances that you will fail. If you want to pass, concentrate more on the king. The king should be saved. The Senapati should be saved secondly. And lastly, you should pay less attention to the soldiers. If some soldiers die also, it's okay. Correct or not? So that is what is the main motto, that the king should be 100% studied well. B graded should be studied little less, it's okay. C graded, concentrate little less, but don't leave it and go. You have to take them so that they can stand in front of you and save you. Is my point clear to all? Did you understand the moral of the story? You have to study everything. Concentration can be little less. A graded might be you practice more question. B graded might be you practice little less question. C graded, don't practice question, but don't leave the chapter and go. You have to read it and go. Is my point 100% clear to all? That's why I'm telling, whenever I say B graded or C graded, students should not assume I will leave and go. Might be C graded, you don't do question answer, but we will read and go. Can we go ahead, everyone? Enough of Gyan. I hope you guys understood what I told. Let's go ahead now. Everyone over here now. Government related services. I believe it's an A graded 1, 2 to 4 mark a small question. They can go ahead and ask. Generally, exemption, they don't go ahead and ask independent question. They ask you as a part of a big question, some other question ka one part, they will give it. So you have to remember. Everyone over here now. Government ka first service which you should always remember is services by Department of Post. You know post office. Post office belongs to you or government? Government, central government, yes or no? Now post office ka there are PIBO services. What is PIBO service? P means postcard ka service, inland letter card ka service, book post ka service, or ordinary post or envelopes. Ordinary post means envelope weighing less than 10 gram. Always remember it will be exempt. If post office is giving other services like speed post, agency service, life insurance, express parcel, etc., always remember all other services GST will come under forward charge mechanism. Next, if supposingly there is a port, there is an airport which is run by the government. If there is an airport or port run by the government, always remember one thing, Adani is running a port. So Adani, whenever he is giving any services, will he charge GST? Yes. So if government is also running a port, government will also charge GST. So government running a port, services in relation to any aircraft or vessel, if it is given inside or outside the airport or port, always GST will be charged under forward charge mechanism. You know Indian Railways everyone. Indian Railways will always charge the GST under forward charge mechanism. First I told you post. Second, I told you aircraft or vessel related service. I for Indian Railway ka services. The next is transportation services. People tell me one thing. If government is going ahead and giving transportation service, government is giving what? Transportation service. Whether it is goods or it is passenger, always government will charge GST under forward charge mechanism. What did I tell you? Post, aircraft or vessel related service, Indian Railway ka service, transportation ka service, and one more, the next is renting of immovable property. Always remember, whenever government is going ahead and giving you renting of immovable property, if you are a registered person, you have to pay GST under RCM. Registered person has to pay GST under RCM. Here I will connect you to the reverse charge chapter. I had gone ahead and told you, everyone here, you don't run here and there. You see on the board, central government excluding Indian Railway, because Indian Railway ka always all services forward charge. Central government, state government, union territory or local authority, whenever they are renting what, everyone? Immovable property to registered person, always registered person has to pay GST under RCM. But sir, what if they are going ahead and renting to a unregistered person? Then it will be forward charge mechanism. In government, I went ahead and told you the first service was post ka service. Everyone here, I told you government mein post ka services. Post ka PIBO service. Tell no, PIBO. Post, inland letter card, book post, ordinary post, envelopes weighing less than 10 gram. Taxable or exempt? Exempt. Other services, forward charge. Aircraft or vessel related service, forward charge. Indian Railway, forward charge. Transportation, forward charge. Renting, registered person, RCM. Unregistered person, FCM. Can I go ahead, everyone? Here, now, remember one thing. If government is giving post related service, airport related service, immovable property related service, Indian Railway ka services or transportation services, leave all these services. These services ke liye I have already told you. Other than these services, if government is going ahead and giving any other services, remember one thing, any other service, if government is going ahead and giving, if it is given to non-business entity, then it will always be exempt. But if government is giving to a business entity, then always remember the business entity has to pay GST under RCM. Remember, always the business entity has to pay GST under RCM. But supposingly government gave me the service, I am a small business entity. Small business entity means whose last year turnover was less than equal to registration limit. If I have to pay GST under RCM, I have to take compulsory registration. So government told, if you are a small business entity, people who is small, whose last year turnover is less than equal to registration limit, then it will be exempted. But if my last year turnover was more than registration limit and I am a business entity, I have to pay GST under RCM. Government gave me service, all other service. I am not a business entity, I am non-business entity. Tell no louder, you have to tell louder. Exempt. If I am a business entity, if I am business entity small, exempt. Remember, see here, if it is RCM, but then entry number 7 came and told services given to small business entity, then exempt. Services given to big business entity, then if to check the consideration, if the amount is more than 5,000, only then RCM. So I will tell you, any other service given by the government to a business entity, which is small business entity, exempt. Big business entity, and amount is more than 5,000, only then RCM will come. If the amount is less than equal to 5,000, it will always be exempt. Now this RCM, I want to tell you in your RCM ka chapter. See here. If central government, state government is going ahead and giving, other than P means what? Post. A means what? Airport or port. I means immovable property. I means Indian Railway. T means transportation. Can I go ahead, everyone? Remember one thing. Other than these 5 services, if it is given to a business entity whose turnover is more than registration limit in the preceding financial year, business entity has to pay GST under RCM. But only when the amount is more than. Clear, everyone? So I have gone ahead and cleared over here this point also. Chalo, please come down, everyone. Now, there are some services of the government which are always exempt. There are some services of the government which are always exempt. Services provided, services by way of issuance of passport, visa, driving license, birth certificate, death certificate. People, government going ahead and issuing birth certificate, death certificate, visa, driving license, all this, whatever charges are taken, it is always exempted. Government guaranteeing the loan of their undertaking or PSU. Always remember one thing, from banks or financial institution. Always remember, guaranteeing the services given by the government is always exempted. Providing registration required under the law, testing, calibration, safety checks, certification to protection of worker, consumer. People, this point is by mistake here. This point should not be there because it is one continuing point. It is a continuing point. Consumer or public at large, including what? File license. Always remember, whenever government is giving you any licenses which are required under the law, remember, GST is always exempted. But if any license is given under the law, it is always exempt. But here, one point I want to tell you, only at the time of registration, whatever government is charging, that is exempt. But sir, supposingly, after some days, file license ka renewal ke liye I went. Government charged me an amount. All other services, you have to pay GST under RCM. And hence, I have written this point here. Renewal fees is not exempt. Business entity to pay GST under RCM. Can you tell me which business entity will pay GST under RCM? Only if it's a big business entity and the amount is more than 5,000. Everyone over here now. Next, merchant overtime fees. Baba, you know in your custom merchant overtime fees is there. Merchant overtime fees is always exempted from GST. Insurance scheme where the premium is paid by the government. I am gone ahead and sold insurance to the government. Premium is paid by the government. I should not collect any GST. Insurance scheme where the insurance amount is paid by the government always will be exempted. Government share of profit petroleum. Did we understand in supply chapter? Profit petroleum always is exempted from GST. Tolerating non-performance of a contract against fine or liquidated damage. It's an old entry, not relevant because now liquidated damages are anyways not taxable. Whether government is receiving it or any other person receiving liquidated damage, where there is no GST. Next. Assignment of right to use natural resources to individual farmer for cultivation of plant or rearing of live form of animal except horses. When government goes ahead and gives, people, when government gives natural resources, for an example, one farmer came and told the government, can you give me the land? Government gave the land to the farmer and told, okay, you can use it for your cows, buffaloes, etc. Whatever amount is charged by the government, you don't have to pay any GST. But remember one thing, if the government has given you natural resources for what? Horses, it is always taxable. Next, sir, services by fair price shop to the central government, state government, union territory under the public distribution system. You know, these ration shops are their ration shop. Are these ration shops providing services to the government? Yes, by distributing the ration, they are helping the government. Whatever commission is charged, there will be no GST. Next. Training program for which 75% or more expenditure is borne by the government. If I went ahead and gave a training program to the government and supposingly I gave training to the government employee and government gave me the money. Remember, if 75% or more is paid by the government, then the total amount pay, I will not charge GST. If supposingly government is bearing only 50%, then my training program, whatever amount I am charging, I have to go ahead and charge GST. Remember, what is exempt only? Training program for which 75% or more of the expenditure is borne by the government. Everyone over here now. There is one circular. This circular I'll talk little later. I want to go ahead and talk about entry number 65B now. What is entry number 65B going ahead and telling? Assignment of right to collect royalty to access royalty collection contractor on behalf of the state government on mineral dispatch by mining leaseholder. People, I'll spend 2 minutes and I'll explain you this. Listen carefully. You know what? All these two are reading category. There's nothing for me to explain. Where we have to actually understand, we can spend 2 minutes and understand. Can we go ahead, everyone? Might be you already remember. If you don't remember, I will make you recall. Everyone over here now. Supposingly, there is a mining company which is there. Mining company went to the state government and told, sir, can you give us the mining license? State government gave them mining license and told them you can give us a fixed amount of 1 crore for an example. One miner contracted with the government. Miner means not miner, mining company. Take everyone, they contracted with the government and government told you have to pay us a fixed amount of 1 crore rupees for mining how much ton everyone? 1 lakh ton. You know what the miner did? He has to pay the GST under RCM. Whatever mining ke liye amount you are paying, people, any other service, you always have to pay GST under RCM. So people, this person has to pay GST under RCM on the fixed amount. On the fixed amount which is there. Which is the fixed amount, everyone? 1 crore rupees pay, they have to pay GST under RCM. But they should do mining only of how many ton? 1 lakh ton. You know what they did? They did mining of 3 lakh ton. Can you tell me how much excess mining is done? 2 lakh ton. So sir, excess mining ke liye excess royalty has to be paid. If you do excess mining, you have to pay what, everyone? Excess royalty. So 2 lakh ton ke liye 100 rupees per ton, you have to pay how much? Sir, 2 lakh into 100, 2 crore. 2 crore pay, what is the GST amount you have to pay under RCM? People listen, excess royalty he paid how much? 2 crore. On 2 crore, how much is the GST? 36 lakh he has to pay under RCM. Do you guys agree with me? Now listen. I'll tell you one thing, simple. Now, government will not come to you and collect this 2 crore rupees excess mining ke liye excess royalty. What government does? No, government goes ahead and gives another person the right to collect the excess royalty. People will come, he will tell, sir, I will go and collect your excess royalty from people. You give me the right. So government gave him the right to collect the excess royalty and he told, okay government, I will pay you 1 crore rupees per annum. How much is he paying, everyone? 1 crore. On 1 crore, is excess royalty collection contractor also doing business? Arey, is he a businessman? Yes or no? Government gave him the license. He will collect excess royalty from everyone now. My question is, when he is paying 1 crore to the government, is he liable to pay GST under RCM? Yes or no? So 1 crore pay, 18%, he has to pay how much, everyone? 18 lakh. But you know what? This 18 lakh will be exempted. Why? Because the miner has paid 36 lakh already. You tell me one thing, ultimately what is happening? He is collecting from the miner and paying to the government 1 crore, no? Did you guys understand? And hence government goes ahead and says 1 crore rupees pay, GST is not required to be paid under RCM. I'll tell you one thing, listen. Supposingly, I am the miner and I have gone ahead and paid GST under RCM on excess royalty. 1 crore rupees ka royalty extra is payable to the government. On 1 crore, 18% means, supposingly, 18 lakh rupees. ठीक है everyone? Government gave him the license. Government gave him the license to collect the excess royalty. To whom? Excess royalty collection contractor. And government told him, hey, you have to pay me 2 crore rupees. 2 crore pay, how much is the GST? 36 lakh, right? Excess royalty collection contractor had to pay 36 lakh. But now listen everyone, if I have gone ahead and paid only 18 lakh rupees, then he will get exemption only up to 18 lakh. Remaining 18 lakh, he has to pay the GST. Is my point clear to all? Because 1 crore he collected from me and gave it to the government. So on 1 crore, to GST is already paid. Remaining 1 crore pay, he has to pay GST under RCM at the rate of 18%. Is my point clear to all? Can we go ahead, everyone? People got it? What is it telling? Listen, everyone here, I am an excess royalty collection contractor. Government gave me the license to collect excess royalty. ठीक है? Government told whatever is the extra royalty, no, you can collect. Government gave me the tender. People listen carefully. I collected from the people 2 crore rupees. On 2 crore, already those people have paid GST under RCM. I have to pay to the government. For an example, my tender with the government was, I will pay only 1 crore. Do I have to pay GST under RCM on this 1 crore or not required? Not required, because those people would have already paid on the extra royalty. How much GST? 2 crore pay, already GST is paid. So on this 1 crore, because it is like 2 crore taken from them and 1 crore paid to the government, on this 1 crore, I don't have to pay GST under RCM. But supposingly, I collected from them only 1 crore. But actually, I had to pay to the government 2 crore. So on 1 crore, so GST is already paid by them under RCM. Remaining 1 crore which I am paying to the government, from my own pocket I am paying. On that amount, I have to pay GST under RCM. Is my point clear to all? Remember one thing. Whatever amount the excess royalty collection contractor pays from his own pocket, on that amount he has to pay GST under RCM. Is my point understood by all? Can we go ahead? Everyone, you can see the example here. Supposingly, the miner went ahead and paid 36 lakh rupees. But excess royalty collection contractor bought the rights. He bought the rights for how much? 1 crore. 1 crore pay, the GST payable was how much? You tell me one thing. On the excess royalty, this guy paid 2 crore pay only 18%, which is 36 lakh. He bought the rights only for how much? 1 crore. 1 crore pay 18% is how much? 18 lakhs. And hence government told, when already 36 lakh is paid, this 18 lakh is not required to be paid. It shall be exempted. But sir, if supposingly miner did mining of 2 lakh ton, excess royalty payable is only what everyone? 1 lakh. 1 lakh into 100 rupees per ton, which is 18 lakh rupees is payable. But this person took the excess royalty collection contractor, took the license for how much everyone? 2 crore. 2 crore pay 18% is how much? 36 lakh. Miner has only gone ahead and paid how much? 18 lakh rupees. Exemption will be limited only to 18 lakh. Remaining 18 lakh will be payable by whom? Excess royalty collection contractor. Is my point clear to all? Can we go ahead, everyone? Everyone over here now. Please come to the top. Please come to the top, everyone. Everyone over here now. Listen. Government is going ahead and giving services to the government. Always remember one thing, government to government ka services are always exempt. Government to government ka services are always exempt. But this is not applicable to post, airport or port, Indian Railway and transportation. It is not applicable to whom? Post, airport or port, Indian Railway and transportation services. Because for them, whatever I have told, you have to do that only. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. Sir, if government is going ahead and giving services where the consideration is less than equal to 5,000, it is always exempt. But this is also not applicable to post, airport or port, Indian Railway and transportation. Are we clear? But sir, is it applicable to renting of immovable property then? Yes. Renting of immovable property. Listen, in case of continuous supply of service, exemption is available only if it is up to what everyone? 5,000 rupees in a financial year. People, renting of immovable property, it's a continuous supply of service. Renting is done for more than, if it is done for more than 3 months, it is always a continuous supply of service, and hence you can write and keep over here. Sir, if it is less than equal to 5,000 rupees per annum, not per month, then it will be exempt. Per annum 5,000 rupees means per month it should be only 300 or 400, 300 rupees current, 400 rupees current. Because if it is more than 400 rupees, it will cross per annum 5,000 rupees. Are we all clear till here? Next, go ahead. Everyone over here now. The next is, if you know, government forms governmental authority. People, governmental authority ka definition I have already given in legal services ka chart, and governmental entity. I'll tell you what is governmental authority. Governmental authority is formed by the government. Any board, any authority formed by whom? Government, in which 90% control is with the government. Governmental entity is also formed by the government only, in which 90% control is with the government. So sir, what is the difference? Authorities are formed. Governmental authority is formed to do 243 G and W wala activity. Governmental entities are formed to do any activity which government is telling them to do. So people, what is the major difference? Authorities will do which activity? 243 G and W wala activities, and entity will do which activity? They will do any activity which is told by the government. Now listen. If governmental, tell me one thing, local authority doing 243 G and W wala activity, neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Governmental authority doing 243 G and W wala activity, it is not neither supply of goods nor supply of service. If they are doing, giving to the government, if they are doing it for the government, what? Activity under 243 G and W, it shall be exempt. Listen. Local authority doing 243 G and W wala activity, exempt. Now, Panchayat ka head will not go and clean the road. 243 G and W says what? Cleaning of road, cleaning of sewage, all these are activities under 243 G and W. Now, this activity, what they will do is, no, Baba, like sewage board, you know sewage board. Sewage board is a governmental authority. It is formed by the government. Now, sewage board does 243 G and W activity and charges any amount, that will also be exempted. Now, government formed governmental entity, and governmental entity is doing what for the government? It is doing work for the government. Government gave them some work and they are doing it for the government. Are they giving service to the government? Yes, and government is paying them. What everyone? Consideration in the form of grant, it will always be exempted. Remember one thing, governmental authority doing work for the government, 243 G and W wala work, exempted. Governmental entity doing the work for the government, that will also be exempted. But for which the consideration is paid by the government in the form of grants. Everyone listen to me very carefully. Now central government, state government is over here. Government went ahead and told me to provide. Okay, people, local authority has to do what? 240 GNW activity like maintaining the road, maintaining the street light. Who will do this? Local authority. Will they do themselves or they will outsource? Outsource. I went ahead and helped them. I went ahead and provided them the service of cleaning the road. When they are doing it, it is neither supply of goods nor supply of service. When they will outsource it to someone, if I help them, they are telling, Ramesh, if you provide pure services or composite supply, what is composite supply? Goods plus services. Either you provide purely service or you supply what? Composite supply, where the value of goods is only up to 25%, it is in relation to 243 GNW and it is given to the government, then your service will always be exempted. Are we all clear till here? So government doing 243 GNW activity is neither supply of goods nor supply of service. If they outsource it to someone, that person also will not charge any GST. Now everyone over here, listen to me very carefully. Tell me one thing. I am giving 243 GNW activity to whom? Local authority or panchayat. And they are doing 243 GNW activity. So I am panchayat. We are doing 243 GNW activity. When we take 243 GNW activity, that will be exempted. Arey, yes or no? Now supposingly, government ka department is army ka department. Army ka department took 243 GNW related services from someone. Will it be exempt or taxable? Taxable. Remember, because local authority does 243 GNW ka work, if they take from someone 243 GNW related service, it is exempted. There, clarification came. Sanitation or convergency services provided by whom? Army or other state government, central government department. To whom? Procured by whom? Procured by Army, Baba, which do not perform the function under 243 GNW as a local authority, and hence it will always be taxable. Baba, Indian Army, does it do 243 GNW activity? No. So when they are taking 243 GNW related any services, it will always be taxable. Next. Pure service or composite supply provided to Central Public Work Department. Are PWD, you know PWD? PWD ka work is what? Cleaning the road, etc. Now PWD is a local authority. PWD went in and told me, Ramesh, can you clean the road for me? I told, okay, I will do. My service is taxable or exempt? Exempt. Everyone over here. Governmental authority is formed to do what work, everyone? 243 GNW related work. Correct? Governmental authority does what? 243 GNW related work. To do 243 GNW related work, they will take some services. Whatever services they are taking, they are going ahead and telling it will be exempt. Not all service, some services. Services provided to governmental people, services provided to by way of water supply, public health related services, sanitation convergency, solid waste management, slum improvement and upgradation. If I am providing to whom? Governmental authority, I will not go ahead and charge any GST. Here, one small point is there. People listen to me very carefully. If government is going ahead and providing any other services to non-business entity, it is always exempt. Now, they are going ahead and telling accommodation services provided by Air Force, Army, Navy, paramilitary or police force mess to their personnel or any other person other than business entity will be exempt. You know Indian Army or police force mess, all this mess may you can go and stay and they will charge you a small amount. What they are going ahead and telling, it will always be exempted. But if these services are given to whom? Business entity, then taxable under RCM. RCM will come when business entity is big plus amount is more than 5,000. Next. Everyone, District Mineral Foundation Trust, DMFT. People always remember one thing. DMFTs are set up by the state government, are governmental authorities. DMFTs are what, everyone? governmental authorities. DMFTs are set up by the government to do 243G and W related work. What they are telling, they are also eligible for same exemption as available to any other governmental authorities. People, if I tell you governmental authority, does governmental authority include DMFT? Yes. DMFTs are what? DMFTs, District Mineral Foundation Trust. These are also governmental authorities. These governmental authorities are doing what work, everyone? 243G and W ka work. So if they are taking these services, will it be taxable or exempted? If they are taking, DMFTs are governmental authority. If they are taking services which are water supply related service, public health related service, then it will be exempted. That's all, everyone. I'll tell you the most important part which you should remember is this above wala part, first of all. This one. This part is very, very important. Okay? Other than this, anything can come. But post-related service, aircraft or vessel-related service, immovable Indian Railway related service, transportation-related service, these services are very, very important. Sir, other than this, Baba, asking ke liye to anything can be asked. But I believe these are important. Please come to the people. We are done with government-related services. Please come to the next chart, everyone. Please come to the next chart. Chalo, everyone over here. Now the next service which we are going to talk about is transportation service. Everyone please come to your chart book, transportation services. Sir, what kind of a chart it is? In my opinion, B graded. B graded. They might ask a question from this. They might not ask a question from this. Everyone over here now, listen. Transportation service में transportation can be of passenger also, transportation can be of goods also. Now they have gone ahead and told whenever it is transportation of passenger, passenger can be transported with or without accompanied belongings. Means they can have bag, they might not have bag. Or now whenever they are being transported, transportation can be by air, transportation can be by road, transportation can be by rail, transportation can be by water. Always remember one thing. Whenever transportation is by air, you are going to Batman or coming from Batman's, always GST will be exempted. Sir, what do you mean by Batman's, everyone? Let's remember. Batman's means Bagdogra in West Bengal, A for Arunachal Pradesh, T for Tripura, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, A for Assam, Nagaland and Sikkim. You are going to Batman or you are coming from Batman. Always remember the airline company, whatever ticket they are going to sell you, they will not go ahead and charge any GST. Everyone, GST will be exempted. But always remember it is only in case of what? Economic class. If you went ahead and booked a business class, but when you can afford business class, you can afford GST also. Next. Whenever transportation of passengers, transportation of person, see what comment. Sir, today idiyappam and chicken kurma. Yo, students know. Whenever transportation by what, everyone? Road. Transportation by road, it can be by what, everyone? Stage carriers. Now, what is the stage carriers? Your local buses which are there. Remember one thing, whenever you are going by stage carriage, non-AC, it is always exempted. AC, always GST is payable. When you can afford AC, you can afford GST also. So supposing you went in a local bus, the local bus, when it goes in stages, one stage, one stop, another stop, so it's called a stage carriage. Stage carriage, always remember one thing, they will never go ahead and charge you GST if it is what, everyone? Non-AC. AC means always GST will be payable. The next over here is contract carriage. What is a contract carriage, everyone? A carriage which you take on a contract, saying, sir, I want to go from here to here. So it is always known as what, everyone? A contract carriage. Now they are going ahead and telling contract carriage, non-AC is always exempted. AC, GST is always payable. You took a radio taxi for going from home to the airport. Radio taxi is also taken on contract. Remember one thing, GST will be payable. Contract carriers taken for tourism, GST is always payable. Conduct tour, charter, always GST is payable. charter, hire, always GST will be payable. It means whether it is stage carriage, only non-AC is exempt. Contract carriage, also non-AC is only exempt. Next. Sir, I took one metered cab. Can you tell me radio taxi and metered cab, what is the difference? Radio taxi is connected through a central GPS system. You can track your car. Metered cab, no. If you metered cab is you show the hand, it will stop. That is a metered cab. Radio taxi, if you show the hand, it will run on you. Okay, everyone. So always remember what's a metered cab. Metered cab is you show the hand and it will stop. So metered cab, auto rickshaw, e-rickshaw, all these three, no, you show the hand, they will stop. So these are known as metered cab, auto rickshaw, e-rickshaw. Government went ahead and told there will also no GST. But everyone over here, always remember one thing. If contract carriage, stage carriage or metered cab, auto rickshaw, e-rickshaw, if you book through Ola Uber, e-commerce operator, then Ola Uber will always collect the GST and pay the GST under section number 9.5. I hope you guys remember section number 9.5. Section number 9.5 may it is told that, sir, now remember this thing, exemption is not applicable if services are supplied through whom, everyone? E-commerce operator. So if you book a auto rickshaw directly, no GST. If you book it through e-commerce operator will collect the GST from you and pay the GST to the government. The next is rail transportation. If it is metro rail, monorail, tramway, always it is exempted. But railway mein, if it is non-AC, then remember Indian Railways ka case mein non-AC. People, Indian Railways will always charge GST under forward charge mechanism. But if it is non-AC, Indian Railways will not go ahead and charge any GST. You know, whatever I told transportation services over here, it is always subject to any other exemption which is given over here. Can I go ahead, everyone? So tell me one thing. Indian Railways non-AC is exempt. First class is always taxable. Air conditioner coach is always GST is payable. The next over here is transportation by water. Water transportation can be happening by sea or it can be inland waterways. Remember, inland waterways means using the river. Government goes ahead and says inland waterways, always the GST will be exempted. But if it is sea route for public transportation, Baba, you will see this sea may, what will happen, one coast to another coast. When people want to go, they will go ahead and use what? Ferry. Remember one thing, always public transportation is always exempted if it is within India. You booked one ship for tour. Remember, if transportation outside India, always GST will be payable. Only what is exempt? Public transportation. Now on the right hand side, we have transportation of goods also. Transportation of goods also can be happen by air, water, rail or road. Sir, if air transportation of goods is happening, remember, if it is domestic transportation, always GST will be payable. If it is international transportation from outside India into India, it will be exempt. From outside India, if transportation is done, it is exempt. From India, if transportation is done outside India, it will always be payable. Remember one thing, from outside India, when transportation of goods is done, GST is exempted. From India, when it is done, GST is always payable. If water transportation is done, water can be sea route also, it can be inland waterways. Inland waterways, always remember, transportation of goods. Government is promoting inland waterways. Government is telling use water as much as possible because water mein there is no traffic. And hence government is telling if you use inland waterways for transportation of goods, the transport company will not charge you any GST. But if you are using what, everyone? Sea route, vessel, then remember, coastal transportation within India, always GST is payable. What is coastal transportation? One coast to another coast. When you are transporting goods, this transport company will always charge you GST. Coastal transportation within India, GST is always payable, but exception is what? Random item. What is random item, everyone? Relief material, agricultural produce, newspaper and magazine, defense and military equipment, organic manure, milk, salt, food grain, rice, flour, pulses. Remember one thing, if the transportation is done of this sixth item, what is the sixth item? With me, everyone. Relief material, agricultural produce, newspaper and magazine, defense and military equipment, organic manure, milk, salt, food grain, rice, flour, pulses. If these things are being transported, the GST is exempted. International transportation ka case mein always remember, ship ka transportation From India, outside India, or outside India to India, always the GST is payable. There is no exemption. Only the exemption is with respect to air. Everyone over here now. Rail के through, if you are transporting what everyone? Goods. Rail transportation में remember, goods का transportation में, बाबा rail में no. Goods are always transported, correct or not? You don't see railway में goods are transported in AC, non-AC. Remember one thing, rail का case में, it is always what everyone? GST is always payable. Exception is there if it is random item. What is random item, everyone? Relief material, agricultural produce, newspaper and magazine, defense and military equipment, organic manure, milk, salt, food grain, rice, flour, pulses. Always remember the GST will be always exempted. See, now only you are repeating 2 times, you are remembering. The more you revise, the more easy it is going to be to recall. Can I go ahead, everyone? But first, always you have to learn something conceptually. You would have learned already conceptually. Now, when you are going ahead and revising again and again, writing the exam will become very easy because you will remember everything. So you should revise the maximum number of time possible. Can we go ahead, everyone? Next. Now, students will tell, sir, minimum is how much? Minimum is, I think, 3. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. Sir, road transportation. What is road transportation? If road ke through, if you are transporting goods. If road ke through, you are transporting goods. Remember, courier means door-to-door services. Courier is always taxable. If GTA services are there, who is a GTA who issues consignment road? Remember, if it is given to registered person who is TDS deductor, exempt. I told you already. Other registered person, GST payable. Whether it can be RCM also, it can be FCM also. Unregistered person, unregistered person, unregistered. These 2 are exempt, but FB scope, always GST is payable. Remember, wherever GST is payable, no, GST will not be payable if it is random item. Remember, specified goods may, it will always be exempt if it is which item? Random item. You remember one thing, random item ka transportation by air, it is not exempt. Random item ka transportation by air is not exempt. Only it is by what? Vessel, rail or road it is exempted. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. They will tell you in the exam, relief material transported by air. Taxable. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. Sir, now road transportation may, one is a GTA and one is all other, like bullock cart. You know cart, everyone? Bullock cart, correct? Cart, tempo operators, individual truck wala. Might be one truck wala is there. He's doing what you know. He's just running a truck. He tells you want to transport goods. Put, I will transport. Those people who basically don't issue consignment note. Remember one thing, their transportation is always exempted. Okay, if it is exempted, I would want to ask you one question. I went ahead and there was one coal field, you know, KGF coal field. They went ahead and told me, we want some trucks. I went ahead and told, okay, we will provide you truck. Now there is a coal field which is there. Coal field went ahead and told me, Ramesh sir, can you give us some truck? Can you give us some? This is truck. Okay, everyone. Truck with operator. Truck with operator. They are telling we will put coal in the truck and we will take it to the railways. And we'll put the coal in the railway and we'll send. So we want 2 truck. I told, okay, I will give you the trucks which are there. I gave them the truck. My question over here, have I given them renting of truck with operator ka service, or I have gone ahead and given them transportation of goods ka service by individual truck wala? I have not given them transportation of goods ka service, because if I give them transportation of goods ka service, then baba, individual truck wala giving transportation of goods ka service is always exempt. But here it will be termed as what? Giving truck on rent, which is always taxable. Is my point clear to all? That is the clarity which is given over here. That sir, renting of truck and other vehicle with driver for a period is services of what? Renting of transport vehicle with operator and not services of transportation of goods by road, and hence it will always be taxable. So if I go ahead and give you one truck along with operator, am I giving you transportation ka service or renting of truck ka service? Hello, renting of truck, and it will always be taxable. Everyone over here now. The next one. People, this coastal transportation mein what happens? Ferry is run. Always run. Remember, this ferry can be run by the government. This ferry can be run by whom? Any private sector ferry is always public transport and ferry will always be exempted. They have gone ahead and clarified over here that private ferry ticket for transportation of passenger is also exempt, whether the ferry is owned and operated by private sector, PSU, or it is run by whom? Government. Tell me one thing, this contract carriage, if I take it on hire, taxable or GST is payable? Baba, sorry, GST is payable or exempted? People always remember, public transportation is always exempt. If you take it on hire, it is always taxable. For an example, I am a company. We went ahead and took one contract carriage on hire. It was non-AC only. We took it on hire. And we are now transporting our employees. The person who gave us the contract carriage, he will go ahead and charge you GST because he is not giving public transport ka service. Here he has given you the contract carriage on hire. Always remember, hiring of a non-AC contract carriage by a firm for transportation of employees, GST is always payable. Remember one thing, only if it is public transport, it is exempt. Public transport by what? Non-AC contract carriage is exempt. If it is other than public transport, charter mein I took, hire mein I took, tour ke liye I took, always it will be taxable. Is my point clear to all? Everyone over here now. Now on the left hand side you can come. One small point is there. These airline companies are there, no? What government have done is, government have gone ahead and made lot of regional connectivity scheme ka airports. And government is telling airline companies, you go over there. If you go over there, no, I will give you funding. So government, when these airline companies are going to this regional connectivity airport, they are actually providing the services to whom? Government. And government is giving them what? Funding. This funding pay, there will be no GST, only for the first 3 years. Now, you know this truck, etc., they take all this All India permit. All India permit to truck, etc., is given by whom? Government. Whatever fees is charged by the government, there will be no GST. Remember all these permits which are given by the government, like All India permit, permit to go in the neighboring state. Neighboring state is known as contiguous state. Neighboring states are known as basically a state which shares the common border is known as what, everyone? Contiguous state. So whenever government is giving you All India permit, permit to go to the neighboring state, that permit ke liye whatever charges are being taken, government will not charge you any GST. But mind it, it should be only a goods carriage. Passenger carriage, GST will be payable. Next. Now, people over here, this is talking about service associated with transit cargo to Nepal and Bhutan. Supposingly from India, some cargo has come in India and this cargo is meant to go to whom? Nepal. So when this cargo is going, one person will be there. He will load the goods in a truck and he will send it to the Nepalese guy. This Nepalese guy will make the payment to him. This guy will never charge any GST because the person sitting in Nepal will not be able to take any input tax credit. And that is why I told any service in association with what? Transit cargo going to Nepal and Bhutan, always GST will be exempted. Now here one clarification was given. The cargo went to Nepal. Now from Nepal it is coming empty. For that also some charges are taken. You told container going to Nepal, there is no GST. What if empty container is coming and for that also we charge something? Government told going to Nepal or coming from Nepal, whatever charges you are taking, don't charge any GST. Movement of empty container from Nepal and Bhutan after delivery of goods is also service associated with transit cargo to Nepal and Bhutan, and that shall also be exempt. So whether the cargo is going to Nepal and Bhutan or coming from Nepal and Bhutan, whatever charges you are taking, don't charge any GST. The right side, we have one small point over here. Listen to me very carefully. Now what they are going ahead and telling over here, in the right side they are telling, giving on hire. Supposingly, I have one bus which is there with me. If I give the bus on hire to state transport undertaking, a motor vehicle for what, everyone? More than 12 passenger. Remember one thing, if I have a bus, I gave it to a state transport undertaking like Tamil Nadu state transport undertaking, Karnataka state transport undertaking. If I am giving the motor vehicle to them, always remember one thing, I should not go ahead and charge any GST. If I am giving to the local authority, in Karnataka, we have the BMTC which is there, which is the local authority. Here in Tamil Nadu, what do you have? Tamil Nadu, TN, No, 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 not State Transport Corporation. I'm telling the local buses are run by whom? MTC. Okay. MTC is running the local buses. Now, if you gave them one electric bus on rent, which is for carrying what? More than 12 passengers, then also that will be exempted. Next, or if you are giving to a goods transport agency a truck, always remember one thing, you will not go ahead and charge any GST. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. Sir, satellite launch services are always exempted. I am Indian Space Research Organization. You gave me a satellite. You told, please send the satellite to the space. I send the satellite to the space. Whatever charges I am taking from you, I will not charge any GST. That's all, everyone. In this chapter, the most important point which I feel is you should be careful about this GTA wala point, everyone. GTA you will see in your exam ka paper. Somewhere or the other, you will see one point on GTA. You will see one point on GTA. Please be very careful. You can be careful about Batman also. Baba, Batman, very dangerous Batman. Please remember. Other than that, everything is okay. I think even if you read once, you will remember it. Right, everyone? I'll close my revision on the chapter of transportation services. Please come to the next chart. C graded chart. C graded. Okay? Admission related services. Everyone, let's read quickly. Admission. Services by way of admission to. Admission means what, everyone? Entry ticket. Whenever somebody is selling what? Entry ticket for museum, national park, wildlife sanctuary, tiger reserve. You went to meet your friend to the zoo and the zoo is selling you entry ticket. Always remember one thing. No value limit. Any amount charged will always be exempted. Next. You went to see a protected monument like Taj Mahal, etc. Always remember, whatever entry ticket they are selling you, they will not charge any GST. You went to see circus, dance, theatrical program, drama, ballet, award function, concert, pageant, musical performance, or any sporting event other than recognized sporting event, or you went to see a sporting event. People, what is a recognized sporting event? Cricket, hockey, etc. What's a sporting event which is not recognized? In Tamil Nadu, I think you have Jallikattu. Arey, Jallikattu will be there, where that cow or buffalo will be running, people will be running. That's also a sporting event which happens. Arey, you have not seen. Today, Google. Take everyone. Now listen. Arey, can I go ahead, everyone? Any local sport which is not a recognized sporting event, always remember one thing. And then the last one is planetarium. All this whenever entry ticket will be sold, whatever entry ticket will be sold, it will be exempt only if the consideration is up to how much, everyone? 500 rupees per person. Can I go ahead, everyone? This right side, all the entries which are there, no, these are just for reading category, not important at all. Why, sir? Because FIFA World Cups are gone and these entries are useless now. Everyone over here now, down. Notes. You went to a water park, amusement park, film city, snow city, theme park, cinema hall. All these are always fully taxable. Sir, where is this told? This is not told, but I still told you so that in the exam you don't get confused. Water park, amusement park, film city, snow city, theme park, cinema hall. All these are always fully taxable. Next. This is the most important part of this chapter. You have to remember this. Listen to me very carefully. Services provided by an artist. People, this artist is there. This artist is there. What they are doing? They are doing Bharatnatyam, Kathak, etc. Now, whatever amount they charge, it will always be taxable if it exceeds 1.5 lakh. If they are charging for a performance only up to 1.5 lakh, then it will be exempt. If they are charging more than 1.5 lakh, it will always be taxable. Everyone here. Services by an artist by way of performance in what, everyone? Folk or classical art form of music, dance, theatre will be exempt if the consideration is only up to 1.5 lakh. Is my point clear to all? Next. But remember, Shah Rukh Khan came and did lungi dance. Baba, 1 rupee also charge taxable. Remember, performance in Bollywood song is always taxable. Next. You know what? This madam was doing Bharatnatyam. Suddenly one company hired her. They told every event may you should do Bharatnatyam. But you are our brand ambassador. You should also sell soap. Remember one thing, if you become a brand ambassador of a company, whether you are doing performance for them, whether you are doing anything for them, it will always be taxable. I hope this point was clear. In this chapter, the most important point to remember is this 500 wala point in this chart, this 500 wala point. If it is amount is more than 500, fully taxable. And this artist wala point that, sir, if it is up to 1.5 lakh, it is exempted. Sir, if it is more than 1.5, taxable. Bollywood songs mein performance, taxable. Brand ambassador, fully taxable. I'll close my revision on admission. Please come to the next chart, everyone. Agriculture. Please come to the next chart. Agriculture. You know what student is telling? Sir, Fortune Oil ka ad, classical dancer. That brand ambassador, full taxable. Very good, very good. You should start applying GST. Everyone over here now, listen. I am very proud of those students who start applying GST like this. Very good. Everyone over here now. Let's go ahead and talk about agriculture related service. All agriculture related services ka exemption we'll go ahead and talk about here. Everyone listen. For agriculture, no, from beginning till the time the goods are being transported, every services have been covered. You know what happens in agriculture? Generally there is no output tax. Generally there is no output tax. So agriculturists, whenever they are buying anything, if they have to pay GST, when there is no output tax, they will not get any input tax credit. So if they have to pay any GST, that GST will become part of their cost because they will not get the credit. And hence government went ahead and told, whenever you are supplying services to an agriculturist, for agriculture, don't charge any GST. So we are going to understand for an agriculturist, what are the services which are exempted. Everyone over here now. People, I'll tell you simple. It says, see here, entry number 54 says, services in relation to cultivation of plant and rearing of life form of animal. Listen, agriculturist, no, he will not do only agriculture. Agriculturist, when he is doing agriculture, no, besides his farm, he will keep some chicken, pigs also. So, yes or no, everyone? So, whether he is taking the services in relation to agriculture or whether he is taking in relation to growing of those pigs, etc., pig, chicken, etc., all the services government went ahead and told are not exempt. Some services are only exempt. We are going to talk about them. Everyone over here. Services in relation to cultivation of plant and rearing of all life form of animal except horses. People remember, horses related services are always taxable. Now, sir, why are you doing cultivation of plant and rearing life form of animal? Why are you growing plant? Why are you growing animal? For food. People see here. This is for what? Food. This is for what? Food. This is for what? Fiber. This cow dung is for what? Fuel. And that is what they are going and telling. If cultivation of plant and rearing of life form of animal is done for what? Food, fiber, fuel, raw material or any other similar product or agricultural produce, remember the services which are taken will be exempted. Which services? Services by way of agricultural operation directly related to production of agricultural produce, like cultivation related service. People listen, to do cultivation, you took any services. Then harvesting related service, to do harvesting, or threshing related any services, or plant protection. Plant protection means fumigation services you took. Fumigation is what? This one. This fumigation ka service you took, or you went ahead and took any testing, soil testing ka service you took. All the services provided to you for cultivating your plant, they are telling will be exempted. Now, everyone listen. To do agriculture, first of all, you want a land. Yes or no, everyone? So they went ahead and told, if you are going ahead and renting vacant land with or without incidental structure, means on your vacant land, whether any hut, whether any house is there or not there, doesn't matter. So if I go ahead and take one land from you on rent, you give me the agricultural land, will you charge GST or no GST? Remember one thing, whenever you give me renting of vacant land, you will not go ahead and charge any GST. Now, on the land, to do the agriculture, I wanted one tractor. So I went ahead and took one tractor on rent. Remember one thing, renting of agro machine, also there will be no GST. Whether I took land on rent, whether I took agro machine on rent, there will be no GST. To run the agricultural operation, I went ahead and took some laborers. I went ahead and told one person, please supply laborer. Whatever amount he will charge, he will not go ahead and charge any GST because supplying of farm labor is also exempted. Now tell me one thing. To do agriculture, I took cultivation related service, soil testing related service. Always remember one thing, all these services will always be exempted. Everyone tell me one thing. I wanted land. I took a land on rent from someone. Taxable, exempt? Exempt. Sir, I went ahead and told I want tractor, all these agro machines I took. Exempt. On the agro machine, I want laborers. I took laborers. Exempt. Sir, cultivation related service. Exempt. Harvesting related service. Exempt. Soil testing ka service. Exempt. Fumigation ka service. Exempt. Are we clear, everyone? Now, after the agriculture is done, there will be process which will be done at the farm. Agricultural farm में no, see, after you pluck the apple, you directly don't take it to the market. You clean it and then you take it to the market. You pack in gunny bags, etc. They are telling all this husking will be done, dehusking will be done, trending, pruning, cutting, drying, cleaning, fumigation. What is fumigation? After the product has been cut, they will still do fumigation. They are telling fumigation ka services, curing, sorting, which is good, which is bad, grading, A graded, B graded, C graded. I took some services from someone, or cooling, bulk packing. Remember one thing, all these services if you go ahead and take, which should not change the essential characteristic, but just make it marketable for the primary market. Primary market means you know where the agriculturist will be standing with his goods. That is the primary market. So if agriculturist went ahead and took cleaning ka service, packing ka service, so that he can take his product to the primary market, if you gave all this service to the agriculturist, you should not charge any GST. Is my point clear to all? Remember one thing. What are these services? Husking, dehusking, trending, pruning, cutting. All these services when you give to the agriculturist, his agricultural produce should remain agricultural produce only. If you gave some services to the agriculturist at his agricultural farm, because of which his agricultural produce remained what? Agricultural produce only. You just cleaned it. Cleaned the apples. That's all. Your service will be exempted. Is my point clear? Sir, supposingly, I will go ahead and tell you, you gave some service to the agriculturist, his apple became apple juice. The service which you gave will be taxable. You gave service to the agriculturist, his tomato remained tomato only. Exempt. But you gave some service because of which his tomato ka ketchup came out. Remember one thing, it will be taxable. Always remember, if any service is given because of which your agricultural produce remains agricultural produce, then it is always exempted. But if any service is given because of which your agricultural produce become what? Non-agricultural produce, it will always be taxable. I have given some examples over here just for you to read once, everyone. Okay? Supposingly, apple is an agricultural produce. Apple juice is not an agricultural produce. Potatoes are agricultural produce. Potato chips are not agricultural produce. Tomato is an agricultural produce. Ketchup is not agricultural produce. Coffee beans are agricultural produce. Processed coffee beans or powders are not agricultural produce. Sir, paddy is an agricultural produce. Rice is not an agricultural produce. Tea leaves are agricultural produce. Tea is not agricultural produce. Sugar cane is agricultural produce. Jaggery is not agricultural produce. Whole pulses, that round pulses which are there, are agricultural produce. You break it and make dal. Baba, DS pulses, processed spices, processed dry fruit, biscuits, all these are not agricultural produce. Remember one thing. If I give you any services at your agricultural farm, because of which your agricultural produce remains agricultural produce only, my service will be exempt. But if I give you any service because of which your agricultural produce becomes non-agricultural, then my service will be taxable. Everyone over here now. Just a second. Now the next one. After the cleaning, cutting, packing, etc. is done, now what will happen? You might want to store it in a warehouse. Remember one thing, warehousing services, if anyone is going ahead and giving, what is warehousing service? I run a big godown. I told you can store your goods with me. So warehousing services, if anyone is giving warehousing of agricultural produce or rice related services, it will always be exempted. Warehousing of minor forest produce or tamarind. What is minor forest produce? Tamarind, curry leaf, tendu patta. What is tendu patta? Bidi leaves. Bamboo or honey, all these are what everyone? Minor forest produce. If I am storing minor forest produce for you, whatever charges I will take, I will not charge any GST. Warehousing of cereal, pulses, fruits and vegetable, also there is no GST. Now, everyone, after the warehousing is done, remember one thing. People tell me one thing. Here you took some fumigation ka service, taxable or exempt? Exempt. Here you took some fumigation ka service, exempt. Here you took fumigation ka service. Remember, in a warehouse, if agricultural warehouse may fumigation services are given, always remember it is not exempt. Not exempt means it is always taxable. Now, after the agricultural produce, you have stored it for some time. Now you want to sell it. So selling ke liye you will go to whom? Agricultural Produce Marketing Board or commission agent. That commission pay, they will also not go ahead and charge any GST. Now after that, what will happen? You will load the goods and sell. People, Agricultural Produce Marketing Board sold your goods. Now what will you do? You will load the goods and send it. So sir, always remember, anybody giving loading, unloading, packing, storage of agricultural produce or rice related service, always remember he will not go ahead and charge you any GST. Sir, after the loading, unloading is done, now they will be transported. Sir, I already told you, transportation of agricultural produce is always exempted. Transportation can be by of agricultural produce or rice can be by JTA, rail or vessel. It will always be exempted, but air is not exempt. Can I go ahead, everyone? Air ke through, if you are transporting agricultural produce or rice, it is always taxable. Everyone over here, if I am going ahead and giving agricultural extension service, what do you mean by agricultural extension service, everyone? What is agricultural extension service? Baba, training farmers. If you are giving training to farmer, whatever amount you will charge, don't charge any GST. Services, people, you know, in human being, we have IVF technology for making babies. Baba, for having babies, what is their IVF technology? For animals, we call it artificial insemination of livestock. Remember one thing, artificial insemination of livestock is always what? Exempt. But horses is taxable. Next, services by way of pre-cooling, ripening, waxing, retail packing, labeling of fruits and vegetables, which do not alter what? Essential character. Always remember, fruits and vegetable remain fruits and vegetable only. If you go ahead and do what? Ripening, waxing, etc. ka service, you will also not go ahead and charge any GST. Services by NCCD, you know, National Cold Chain Development Authority is there. Their services pay also, there is no GST, it is exempted. Now, entry number 10A goes ahead and says about, everyone, what is entry number 10A? Listen. This is one road. Road say what is going? Electricity is going. This is electric pole. Okay? This is one agriculturist. This one agriculturist. Okay? This is his well. This is his tube well. In the tube well, the water to come out, he needs electricity. So he went in and told the electricity utility. People, who supplies electricity in Tamil Nadu? DNEB. TNEB. TNEB. He went to TNEB. He went to TNAB and told from here, no, sir, do one thing. Can you make one pole over here and give electricity? TNAB told, I want 10,000 rupees. The 10,000 rupees pay, there will be no GST. What government is going ahead and telling over here? That, sir, services supplied by electricity distribution utility by way of construction, erection, commissioning, installation of infrastructure for extending electricity up to the tube well of the farmer or agriculturist, whatever amount is charged, there will be no GST. These are just some examples given over here. Now, one circular is there. Paddy, agricultural produce. Rice, not agricultural produce. If I give services of converting paddy into rice, taxable or exempt? Remember one thing, it is always taxable. The next one over here. People, all these processes which are there, no, all these processes, if I get it done through a job worker, that job worker also will not go ahead and charge any GST. Government told over here, carrying out an intermediate process as job work in relation to cultivation of plant and rearing of life form of animal, except horses, is always exempted. Is my point clear to all? Everyone over here. Sir, what kind of a chart is this? B graded. Sir, what point they can go ahead and ask? That fumigation wala point. Remember, fumigation services are taxable or exempt? If it is at a field or farm, exempted. Warehouse, taxable. Remember this point? Remember, services in relation to agricultural produce are always exempt. Services in relation to agricultural produce becoming non-agricultural is always taxable. This can be one small point. Please remember this. Artificial insemination. Remember, livestock is always exempt. Horses are always taxable. Wherever you see horses, no, remember horses are always taxable. Please remember this point. Should be good enough, everyone. I'll do one thing. I'll close my revision on the chart of agriculture. Exemption. The next exemption is healthcare exemption. Let's go ahead and now revise healthcare exemption. To revise healthcare exemption, first you have to understand what is healthcare. What is healthcare? Everyone, healthcare means, it says what? Healthcare means any services by way of diagnosis, just a second. Any services by way of diagnosis, treatment or care. First they will diagnose, then they will treat, then they will take care of you. All the three are covered in healthcare. For what? For pregnancy, abnormality, illness, injury or deformity. Always remember, diagnose, treatment and care for pregnancy. With me everyone, with me, quickly. Pregnancy, abnormality, illness, injury and deformity. And Baba, always remember, the diagnose, treatment and care should always be done in what? Recognized system of medicine in India. Then it will be treated as what? Healthcare. Sir, what do you mean by recognized system of medicine in India? Recognized system is Ayushan. A for Ayurveda, Y for Yoga, U for Unani, S for Siddha, H for Homeopathy, A for allopathy and N for naturopathy. Remember, so if you go to a place and they did diagnosis for you or they did treatment or they took care of you, in what everyone? For what? For pregnancy, abnormality, illness, injury and deformity, and it is done in recognized system of medicine which is Ayushan, then always remember that will be healthcare service. Okay, everyone? For an example, you went to one Baba who took one lemon, he did the treatment. Now you tell me one thing, that lemon treatment which was done by the Baba, he took his broom, he hit on your head 2 times. Is that treatment recognized system of medicine in India? No. Remember one thing, that is not recognized system and that is not healthcare. Is my point clear to all? You went for Chinese medicine. Chinese medicines are not recognized in India. You went for Reiki treatment. Reiki treatments are not recognized in India. So remember one thing, if you get your healthcare done in recognized system of medicine in India, only that is exempted, not any other thing. So I have written over here, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, Reiki treatment are all organized and hence always GST is payable. Always remember, healthcare includes services by way of transportation of patient to and fro clinical establishment. Baba, ambulance ka service of taking one person to the hospital to back home is also a healthcare service. And then they went ahead and told, healthcare does not include, healthcare mein what is not included? Hair transplant and cosmetic or plastic surgery. If it is done for beautification, then it is not healthcare. But if it is done to restore or restructure any defect or injury, then always remember it will be treated as what? Healthcare. Now, everyone over here now, listen to me very carefully. Healthcare means what? Diagnose, treatment and care for, with me everyone, for pregnancy, abnormality, illness, injury, deformity in recognized system. Recognized system is Ayushan. Always remember, this is healthcare plus ambulance is healthcare plus the last one, it is cosmetic and plastic surgery. That is also healthcare, provided it is done for what? Restore or restructure a defect. Everyone over here. Now, healthcare service. You know what happened? Healthcare services given by me. Will it be exempt? I am a chartered accountant. No. Remember, healthcare services should be given by whom? clinical establishment or authorized medical practitioner or paramedics, only then it will be exempt. Everyone, what is a clinical establishment? Clinical establishment means hospital, so it is capped: clinical establishment, authorized medical practitioner and paramedics. Remember, clinical establishment are like hospital, nursing home, clinic, sanatorium, any other institution that offers what? Diagnose, treatment and care for PAIID in Ayushan, or a place which is carrying out diagnosis. This diagnosis labs etc. will be there, or investigation service. Basically all these diagnosis labs etc. are also clinical establishment. Then they are telling, if there is an authorized medical practitioner, who is a authorized medical practitioner? Who has failed MBBS or who has passed MBBS? Who has passed MBBS, remember. So it says these are individual doctors who are basically registered with the council. Those people are also authorized medical those people are authorized medical practitioner, and if they give healthcare service, it will be exempted. Now, who are paramedics? Paramedics are basically trained healthcare professional like nursing staff, physiotherapists, technicians, etc. These are also, when they give healthcare service also, it shall be exempted. Now, one thing which you have to be very careful, remember for your exam purpose also, if clinical establishment is going ahead and charging you room rent, remember, clinical establishment is going ahead and providing what? Room, having room charges more than 5,000. If the room charges are more than 5,000, then it shall always be GST payable. But if less than or equal to 5,000 rupees, then there is no GST. Now you tell me one thing, who wants to go to an ICU? But still, if somebody got admitted in an ICU, then ICU ka charges are 30, 40, 50,000 in a day. They are going ahead and telling whatever charges are taken by the ICU, even if it is more than 5,000 rupees, always it shall be exempted. So they are telling whether it is ICU, whether it is ICCU, whether it is NICU, always remember any amount shall always be exempted. Now, the next is, supposingly, if these three people are going ahead and giving ambulance ka service, that ambulance ka service will always be exempted because that is already healthcare. But supposingly I started one ambulance service, that will also be exempted because it went ahead and told over here, anyone doing transportation of patient in ambulance is also exempted. So whether clinical establishment is doing, whether paramedics is doing, whether authorized medical practitioner is doing, or I am doing, it shall always be exempt. Then they are telling, Baba, for human being also healthcare is exempt, for animals also it is exempted. Services by a veterinary clinic, which is taking care of what? Healthcare of animals and bird, is also exempted. Here, there were 2 points which were earlier exempt, now made taxable. So I have gone ahead and put it over here so that you remember for exam that court blood bank services are always taxable. Now, the biomedical waste treatment facility, they will treat all the biomedical waste of the hospital ka waste etc. On that also GST is payable. Earlier these two were exempted, but now GST is payable, and hence for your exam please be careful. Everyone over here, down I have gone ahead and given some circulars. Circulars goes ahead and says, people, room rent, taxable or exempt? Taxable if the amount is more than 5,000. Up to 5,000, exempted. Remember, up to 5,000, exempt. More than 5,000, taxable. Now, doctors go ahead and give services to the hospital, and hospital pays them. Will that be also exempt? Yes, they went ahead and told doctors are hired by the hospital and hospital pays them. That will also be exempted. One person was admitted in the hospital. They charged him 10,000 rupees. In 10,000 rupees, 8,000 was the treatment ka charges, 2,000 the hospital retained because the hospital did your BP check etc. That is called retention money. Remember one thing, retention money is also exempted. When one person is admitted in the hospital, along with healthcare, he is also given food. Remember, when healthcare is exempted, the food which is provided is also exempt. But remember, food given to inpatient is only exempt. If supposingly one person is not admitted in the hospital, food given to outpatient, food given to attender, food given to visitors, food given to doctor, food given to nurses, all this always GST will be payable. Now, ambulance services which are provided under National Health Mission, you dial 108, ambulance will come. That health mission wala ambulance is also exempted. The next is, now if clinical establishment, hospital is providing health care, that is exempt. If hospital went ahead and started giving you shop on rent, auditorium on rent, all that always will be taxable. Now the last one over here, remember one thing, in human being, the IVF technology which is there, IVF is nothing other than treatment for pregnancy, and hence remember IVF is also covered in healthcare and it shall be exempted. In my opinion, this chart is very good. They can go ahead and ask a question, but I will still treat it as B graded because it might come, it might not come. In my opinion, if it comes also, these things which are there, circulars, one small point you can find it. Please be very careful about it. If these 2 points which I have written over here, these 2 points also you should be very careful. I think this circulars wala part and these 2 points which I have written is very, very important. Other things anyways you guys already know. I'll close my revision on healthcare. Everyone over here, the next was legal services. Legal services you guys already know. Legal services, remember one thing, whether it is arbitral tribunal, whether it is advocate or firm of advocate or senior advocate, keep it very simple. If they are giving to whom? Business entity whose last year ka turnover, don't see anything, only see last year ka turnover. In the question, if you see advocate, if you see arbitral tribunal, search for the last year ka turnover. Sir, if last year ka turnover is not there, then Baba, right. I assume that the last year ka turnover is more than registration limit, only then you say RCM. Can I go ahead? Otherwise, don't say RCM and come. You have to write your assumption in the question paper. Sometimes what happens, no, the person setting the paper forgets to write something. That time you have to take assumption. But just like that, don't assume. See the question properly. Can I go ahead, everyone? Now, if it is more than registration limit, then only GST will be payable under RCM. This point is the most important point in this chart. I believe this chart ka this point is A graded. You will see some or the other place, advocate, arbitral tribunal, etc. Everyone over here now, let's come to the next page. Please come to education and skill. Please come to education and skill. Everyone, education and skill related exemption. They have asked approximately 2 to 3 times in the exam. I believe this chart is A graded. You must do it properly and go. Everyone listen to me very carefully. First of all, you have to know who is an educational institution, because only if educational institution providing services, then it shall be exempted. Or educational institution taking services, also some services are being exempted. First of all, you should know what is an educational institution. Educational institution means an institution. Tell me one thing, we are giving coaching. Are we educational institution? No. Government is telling who I am telling is educational institution, that person is only educational institution. They told educational institution means institution providing services by way of preschool up to 12th or equivalent. Baba, all this, your preschools which are there up to 10th and 12th. Up to 12th you have to see. Those are what, everyone? Educational institutions. Your schools, Baba, your schools. Okay? After that, your degree colleges which are there, if education is provided as a part of curriculum for obtaining qualification which is recognized under law, all these degree colleges do what, everyone? Degree colleges provide you degree. Degree is recognized under the law. Post-graduation colleges, what do post-graduation colleges do? They go ahead and give you degree, and the degree is recognized under law. Always remember one thing, all these are educational institutions. So can you tell me educational institution means what? Up to 12th, or educational institution which is colleges and post-graduation colleges. And the last is when somebody is providing education as a part of approved vocational education course. Now, approved vocational education course ka definition I have given over here. This is just for your reading purpose. You can read. I will tell you what is an approved vocational education course provider. These people are basically industrial training institutes or industrial training center which are affiliated to whom, everyone? National Council for Vocational Training, or they are affiliated to State Council for Vocational Training. So these people are basically, whenever they, and what they provide, no, they provide skill related courses. See, they are going ahead and telling, or if somebody is providing what? Modular employable skill course, then always remember those people will be termed as what? Approved vocational education course provider. Tell me one thing, what is educational institution? Whenever somebody is providing education up to 12th or degree colleges or approved vocational education course provider. Who is an approved vocational education course provider? An industrial training institute, industrial training center, or if anyone is providing what? Modular employable skill course, those are also approved vocational education course provider. Those are also educational institution. Now listen, educational institution taking services is also exempt. Educational institution providing services is also exempt. Now, what are the services which are provided are exempted? You have to remember. Everyone, first let's understand. When educational institution is providing any services, remember any services, if it is given to whom? See, all the three institutions, when they are giving to their student, faculty and staff, always remember it shall be exempted. Educational institution training its student, taxable exempt. You have to tell me quickly. Exempt. Educational institution gave training to its faculty, charged an amount, taxable exempt. Exempt. Gave training to its staff, charged an amount, taxable exempt. Exempt. The next is, now supposingly you want to take admission in one educational institution, you will write the entrance fees. You will write the entrance test. Then you will pay the entrance fees. Remember, if educational institution is charging anything as entrance fees, that is also exempted. After you enter the college, then you will become the student. Charging anything to the student is exempt. When you are not a student and you paid entrance fees, that is also exempted. I hope this point is clear. Now I want to ask you, educational institution went ahead and charged you boarding fees. Exempt. Educational institution charge you bus car transportation fees. Exempt. Remember, all the charges. Sir, migration certificate charge. Exempt. Sir, eligibility certificate charges. All charges. Examination fees. All the charges which are charged by educational institution. All the three. Okay, everyone? To whom? To their student, faculty and staff is always exempt. Educational institution charging entrance fees is also exempt. Mohammed is telling, sir, what about uniform fees? Whatever amount is being charged, it is always education and it shall be exempted. Now, when you are telling about uniform fees, what happens basically? They go ahead and charge you an admission fees, and in that they go ahead and include it. Now, if you go ahead and talk about uniform fees, I don't know about uniform fees. Why you tell me? Because again, it is goods. Goods के लिए goods का exemption you will have to go ahead and see. But in my opinion, when you go ahead and see the total admission fees, if uniform is included, that will become part of the composite supply. Entire amount will become exempted. Everyone over here now. Now the next one over here is this point clear to all? Now educational institution giving what, everyone? All the services to student, faculty and staff is exempt. Now, what are the services which are taken by an educational institution is also exempt. Remember one thing, I have gone ahead and divided in 5 services. Number 1 is when transportation of student, faculty and staff ka services is given. To whom? To a preschool up to 12th. Remember, it shall be always exempt. When is preschool up to 12 takes what, everyone? See, school ka principal will run the bus, is it? Do you think the school ka principal will run the bus? So they will generally outsource it to outsource. Outsource it to whom, everyone? Someone outsider. Now that outsider, when he is going ahead and providing what? Transportation of student, faculty and staff, will he go ahead and charge GST or no GST? No GST. Then catering including midday meal. Remember one thing, if anyone is providing catering services to whom? Educational institution up to 12, that shall also be exempted. Now that catering can be sponsored by the government, that catering can be sponsored by any other company as a part of their CSR activity. Always remember, catering services given to an educational institution which is up to 12th shall always be exempted. Now, security, cleaning and housekeeping services given to an educational institution, you have to remember, only if it is provided within the campus, it will be exempted. If it is given outside the campus, For an example, school has its annual day. Outside the campus, one field the school have gone ahead and taken. In that field, if any security, cleaning, housekeeping services will be given, that shall always be taxable. Remember, it is only when it is exempt only when it is performed within the campus. The next is admission or conduct of exam related service. School went ahead and took paper printing ka services. Exam paper, somebody has set the exam paper. He charged some amount. Honorarium given to people who have come for invigilation. Honorarium given to people who have done correction. All these amounts pay, there will be no GST. And the last one is online educational journal and periodical. When it is given to school, it shall always be taxable. That is why I have cut it over here. So what is exempt only? Transportation, catering, security, cleaning, housekeeping, and admission or conduct of exam related service. Online periodical journals are not exempted in case of what? Preschool up to 12th. The same thing I've written it down. For whom, everyone? For colleges and post-graduation colleges. Remember one thing, in this case, transportation is always taxable, catering is always taxable, security, cleaning, housekeeping is always taxable, admission or conduct of exam-related surveys and online educational journals and periodicals only is exempted. Can I go ahead, everyone? Again, I wrote these things over here down. So you have to remember, here, everything is taxable when it is provided to whom? Approved vocational education course provider. Only one thing, admission or conduct of exam related surveys will be exempted. I want to go ahead and ask you one thing. Tell me one thing. One degree college went ahead and provided transportation services to the student. Taxable or exempt? Gone, Baba, gone. Providing everything is exempt. Taking. Oh, please be careful in the exam. School providing to student transportation service, college providing, approved vocational education course providing, it is always exempt. Taking ka case mein, only when the school is taking transportation service, it is exempt. College taking, it is taxable. Approved vocational course provider taking, it is taxable. You'll remember, everyone. Next. This point I knew you'll go wrong, so I've told it. Can we go ahead, everyone? Everyone over here now on the right hand side. There are some circulars which are there. Let's go ahead and remember. Maritime institution who goes ahead and provides all these ship related courses. Remember, maritime institutions are always, everyone, what? Educational institution, and whatever course is being provided by them is always exempt. Maritime institution who provide all these ship related courses are always educational institution. Their services will always be exempt. Then supplying of food and beverages by educational institution to its student, faculty and staff is exempt. But school went ahead and gave the contract to someone to run a canteen in the school, and that person is selling the food. That time it will always be taxable. If school is providing, it is exempt because it is directly given to student, faculty and staff, exempt. But supposingly college went ahead and gave what? Contract to an outsider. An outsider went ahead and gave food to the school students, then taxable. Remember, but if it is supplied by any other person based on contractual agreement, then always GST will be payable. I'll tell you like this. College runs a canteen. When college is running the canteen themselves, then there is no GST. But if college gave it to an outsider to run the canteen and that person is charging an amount, then he will always have to charge GST. Next, entrance fees for eligibility certificate, migration certificate, Baba, all these are services given to the student, always exempted. Next, Anganwadis. Baba, you know Anganwadi. Anganwadi is nothing other than, remember, Anganwadi is nothing other than a preschool, and preschool ko catering services provided is always exempt, whether the catering is sponsored by government or whether the canteen is sponsored by, catering is sponsored by someone else. Remember one thing, everyone, Anganwadis provide preschool non-formal education, hence serving of food to them is always exempt. Catering services given to Anganwadi, always exempt, whether the food is sponsored by the government or donation from companies. The next one over here, remember, educational institution also include IIM. So IIM is going ahead, Baba, it includes college also and post-graduation degree college also. So I am going ahead and giving MBA ka degree, always, whatever charges they are taking, it will be always exempt. I have told over here, IIMs are educational institution. All long duration courses which confer a degree or a diploma, it is always exempt. But the short term courses which are there, no, they will give certificate that you have done a short term course with us. Those are not exempt. Those are always GST will be payable like executive development program. The next one over here, listen carefully everyone. All these CBSE board, state board, all these boards which are there, those boards are not educational institution, but only for the purpose of conducting exam. But people, they take students ka exam, 10th ka exam, 12th ka exam, only for the purpose when they are going ahead and taking the exam, they are going ahead and telling central board, state board shall be treated as what everyone? Educational institution only for the limited purpose of providing services by way of conduct of exam. Services provided by the board by way of conduct of exam is always exempted. Only for what everyone? Taking your exam. Your state board, central board, they will go and charge you an amount. It shall always be exempted. Now, to do the exam, they will take paper printing ka service, all this conduct of exam related service, that will also be exempt because they are treated as educational institution for conducting the exam. To take the exam, whatever fees they charge, no GST. To take the exam, whatever input services they take, that also there will be no GST. It is told input services relating to admission to or conduct of examination such as result publication, printing of admit card, question paper, etc. received by the board, also GST will always be exempted. The next one, sir, now all this central board, state board, they go ahead and give affiliation. Remember one thing, all other services given by the board, like providing accreditation to institutes, always GST will be payable because only what services are exempt? Conduct of exam related services are exempt. So when they are taking exam, it is exempt. When they are taking exam related service, that is also exempt. All other services done by whom? Central board, state board, etc. will always be taxable. Now here they have gone ahead and given one more clarity that any authority, any board, any body which is set up by the central government, including National Testing Agency, you know, National Testing Agency, all these people conduct what? JEE ka exam, NEET ka exams, etc. Remember, they are also treated as what everyone? Educational institution, and whatever services they are giving, that shall also be, they shall also be treated as what? Educational institution, but only for the limited purpose of providing what? Taking entrance test so that students get admission to college, etc. They will take entrance test ka fees pay, no GST. Now to take the entrance test, if they go ahead and take any input services, those will also be exempted. Those are only for which only for which input service exemption will be given? Exam related input services. Everyone over here on the left hand side, listen. When one person goes ahead and gives transportation services to preschool up to 12th, everyone over here, preschool up to 12th, it is always exempt. Now to go ahead and give these services, he went ahead and took supposedly one bus on rent. Always remember one thing, if anyone is giving on hire motor vehicle for transportation of student, faculty and staff, to whom? To a person who is providing services of transportation of student, faculty and staff to an educational institution, then these services also will be exempted. Tell me one thing, I am providing transportation services to college. Is my service taxable? Yes or no? Yes. Now when I am providing to college, it is taxable. To provide these services, when I take one bus on rent, that will also be taxable. Everyone over here, we are done with education. This skill which I have written, it is just for a reading purpose. You can just read once and go. There is nothing very important in this. You can just read. Reading category. Everyone over here, I'll go ahead and close my discussion on education and skill. Very, very important. Remember, all services given by educational institution to student, faculty and staff is exempt, but taken, everything is not exempt. In the exam, please be very careful whether it is taken or given. I'll close my revision on education and skill. Zoom the circular, sir. Okay, zoom. Done. Everyone over here now, listen to me. Come to the next page. Everyone, please come to the next page. Everyone listen now. This insurance ka chart which is there no, is a C minus graded chart. Okay? They have never gone ahead and asked, but there are a lot of small insurances which are there. on which whatever premium you pay, there'll be no GST. All the small insurances which you take, there'll be no GST. In this chart, I don't have anything to explain. Why, sir? Sir, you take health insurance, no GST. Sir, you take coconut and palm insurance, whatever premium, no GST. So for me, there is nothing to say in this chart. You can just read all the insurances ka name and go. You read this chart once and go, that is more than enough. C minus graded, Baba. Till date, they have never gone ahead and asked any question. But by chance, they tell you in the exam. That is why I have gone ahead and written all the insurances ka name. And I have given all the pictures also, so that you remember, oh, heart insurance, no GST. Sir, this madam is there, self-employed women, no GST. You can just read it once and go. Okay, everyone? Not important at all from exam point of view. Sir, but still, if by chance anything comes then you remember this. Coastal Guard wala point. This left side life insurance wala point. C graded chapter ka C graded 2 points, which I like it. Can I go ahead, everyone? Please come to the next one. Listen. Everyone over here now. Everyone over here now. In the exemption, we have gone ahead and covered all the important exemptions which were there now. We have gone ahead and covered all the important exemptions which were there. Everyone, just a second. Now, listen, there are some other small exemptions which are there. There are other small exemptions which are there, which they have gone ahead and given exemption. These are all miscellaneous exemption which I have gone ahead and written over here. This miscellaneous exemption I have written so that students can just read and go once. In this also, I will tell you what are the important ones which I like it. See, these two charts which I have given, no. These are not for me to go ahead and read. It is just for you to read and go. These are all the miscellaneous. But I'll tell you in this also which are the most important, you mark it. People, remember, here. Whenever you are renting anyone, whenever you are going ahead and transferring your business as going concern, people, whenever you are giving your business as going concern, it is always exempt. Secondly, if you are renting a residential property for residential purpose to an unregistered person, to whom everyone? Unregistered person, it is always exempt. Remember this point. It does not mean other things you will not read also and go. I am telling you which are the most important point out of this miscellaneous also. Remember, I like this point. If there is an organizer who has organized business exhibition outside India, if there is a person who has organized what, everyone? Business exhibition outside India, and he has gone ahead and provided you any service. You told, I want to put a stall in the exhibition, please allow me. He went ahead and charged you some charges. He will not go ahead and charge any GST. Remember this point. I like this point. Foreign diplomat mission. Remember, they will give you in the exam services given 2. They will give you 2. You have to say no. 2 is all. When all the foreign diplomat mission give services, that is give services provided by is exempt. If they take services, that is always taxable. Please be careful. Please mark this point. This point is important. Services given by whom? Player, referee, umpire, coach, team manager. People always remember, if you are a player, referee, umpire, coach or team manager, and if you are giving services to whom? Recognized sports body, that will always be exempt. If you are one recognized sports body giving to another recognized sports body, that will also be exempt. Always remember in your exam, selectator ka service, commentator ka service, curator ka service, all these are always GST is payable. Please don't forget. Can I go ahead, everyone? This point, I like it. I also like one point which is by non-profit entity, services by non-profit entity to its member up to 7,500 per month per member, that shall always be exempt. This point and this circular, always remember. Everyone here, I am an apartment welfare association. Everyone here, I am an apartment welfare association. People are staying in the apartment. Association is separate, members are separate. Do you guys know already? Section number 7(1) AA. Association is separate, members are separate. From the members, if the association is going in and charging per month 7,500, listen carefully. How much? 7,500. It shall always be exempted. If the association is charging 10,000 rupees, then Then also it is not taxable if the association is not registered. Please be careful. GST will only come if the association is first of all a registered person, plus it is charging more than 7,500. Now tell me, I am an association, I am registered. All these are told in the circular. I am telling you the circular. I am an association, I am already registered. I am already registered and I am charging 8,000. Then GST will come or GST will not come? GST will always come. Sir, I am charging 8,000. GST will come on 8,000 minus 7,500. Only on 500 or total 8,000? Total 8,000. Please remember this point and please remember this circular. I like it. Please come to the next page. Let me just see if I like anything else also. People, my liking and examiner ka liking can be different. Okay? So please read all of them and go. But those points which I am telling, please be careful about it. In the next one, these 2 points are important. These 2 points are important. Please be very careful. These 2 points are important. People here, you are under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. You are under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. You are getting your home done. I provided you pure labor services. I provided you pure labor services for constructing a new home or for repairing your home or for renovating your home. My services will always be exempted. This is this one. You are not under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. You are not under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. You are making a single residential house. I went ahead and provided you the service for making a new home. That shall always be exempt. But if I provide you the service for repairing your home, renovating your home, that shall always be taxable. Remember one thing. If a person is under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and that person ko I am giving new work ke liye service, original work or repair or renovation, that all the 3 service will be exempt. It should be pure labor service. But if I am giving the services to a person who is not under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, only if he is making a new home, then my service will be exempt. If I am giving the service for renovating his home, repairing his home, that shall always be taxable. Did you guys understand this point? See here, when the person is under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, whether it is original work, repair, renovation, all are exempt. But if I am giving pure labor service for single residential house, it should be only original work. It should always be original work, only then it shall be exempted. Original work means new work. Tour operator service, everyone over here. Tour operator service. What is tour operator? I operated one tour for one person. That tour is partly in India, partly outside India. Remember, how much ever is outside India ka part, that will not be taxable. Partly in India, that part will be taxable. Are we clear, everyone? Tour operator service, if it is performed partly in India, partly outside India, India wala part will be taxable. Outside India wala part will always be exempted. All other services are okay. You can just read and go. People, these are some of the important points which I found, which I believe you guys should be careful, not leaving and going. Okay, done. That's all, everyone. I'll go ahead and close my revision on the chapter of exemption. Again, I'll tell you, this is a C-graded chapter, not A-graded chapter. This chart is C-graded. These other exemptions are C-graded, but in the C-graded also, the most important point I've gone ahead and told you, please be very careful about them. I'll close my revision on the chapter of exemption. Thank you. Chalo.